Welcome everyone. This is the All In FPL show. I'm your host JB, and we are extremely ill. That's because we got double game week fever, everyone. That's right. We're here to help you through your best picks, choose your best teams, and everything else FPL. I'm super excited. We're joined as ever by a guy whose love affair with Anthony Gordon and Frank Lampard is sadly over. But fear not, he has a new hero in the form of Big Sean Dyche. It's Doyle. How are you, Doyle?
I'm good. I'm good. You can tell you've had a week off to prep that intro, haven't you? You've been
It
thinking
took
about that all
it
week.
took for all the 3 minutes early. I had a bit of time because Josh was running late as always, so I thought I'd knock something up. What do you think about Big Sean Dyche, just briefly?
Um, Pass.
I think that sums it up perfectly. But we're also joined by a man who has more money than a Saudi Arabia investment fund. He's so rich he's now a regular at Nando's instead of Cottage Chicken. It's the richest man on the planet. It's Joshua Waldridge. How are you, Josh?
I'm good, mate, but there's absolutely no chance I'd pick Nando's over Chicken Cottage. There's absolutely no chance. That Chicken Cottage is my absolute favourite. It's one of my
No
absolute favourites.
way. It's like
So I'd rather spend £2 on chicken than £20 every single time, literally.
if you go cottage chicken or chicken cottage, whatever it's called, you get hot wings and stuff. They've got like hairs on them and things like that. You can't be going there, surely, over a nice juicy Nando's.
He's from Warsaw, mate. They're grim up there.
I
Yeah,
don't mind it,
true.
mate. I like Warsaw because the pints are £2 there as well. So you can have some chicken and some pints for about you pay about £4 and you get change from a fiver. So yeah.
Even though you're so rich these days, you're still just as tight. The money has not changed the man, shit, surely. All right, Doyle, what have we got in store for everyone? Do you want to go through the running order tonight and tell the FPL fans what they're going to be listening to?
Yeah, we're gonna go through our game week 21 results. Then follow it up with some chatter about the double game weeks, players to bring in, everything that everyone else is talking about. But we're going to sort of compare that with some single game week players who think people might be overlooking. We're going to talk about the value of double game week players. Is it worth a hit? Is it not worth a hit? Because some players that other people might not be looking at from Leeds, for example. So should be a fun one before we go into our teams for next week, what we're going to do, and some beer bets. So
Beer
should we get
bets.
cracking with we'll start with the bottom of the pile, which as per usual, I think is Josh.
Oh God. 75 I got this week. It's just I'm really not enjoying this being bottom crap. Like I know how you feel now, Doyle. Literally, I know you felt all season.
I've
And
not seen this in a long time. I can't remember what being bottom feels like, to be honest with you.
oh my God, I'm just looking at this like fucking Zaha with the flag right in the middle. That's what I can see straight away. I'm just like, he's an absolute wanker. I don't like him anymore at all. Like he was the one who was going to come in for me and bring me all the points. I hit him in for Mason Mount, who to be fair is also crap. So that like it's not too bad on the swing there, but um Zaha just looked awful in all the last three games. So the two games in the double and then this single game week against Newcastle, he was dreadful in every single game. I watched all the games because I was quite excited to get some Crystal Palace points finally, but they didn't come. Man United defenders wasn't expecting much from De Gea and Shaw this week. I have to say, I actually didn't play Shaw. I played Doherty over him, but Doherty's no show meant I got a 0 on for a 0, which I think there's almost no point in them actually activating that auto sub. Really, I just don't really understand what's the point in that. But yeah, De Gea got a point. I think he like got a save or some shit, or like didn't get yellow card. Probably that's probably what he did. Actually, he didn't get a yellow card, which is great. Akanji got 6. I think me and Dor both had that. That's like some City clean sheet points, which most people didn't get because I think most of the others either got subbed off early or late or like so. I think we did well with that one, Door, with those 6. Trippier got 8 as he gets minimum every week. Absolutely ridiculous player. If you haven't got him, you shouldn't play anymore. It's ridiculous now. And you were going to go without him almost, Door, weren't you?
I was just really confused because I thought the game week just gone was the double game week for City. When it was Spurs City, etc. It's been that long since we've had games that I'm going cuckoo. I thought you'd bench I thought Doherty had like played 0 minutes in a double game week and Akanji had like somehow ended up on 6 despite cleaning. Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, you're going to be even more fucked in a minute because City are playing Tottenham again next week. So I don't know how you're going to deal with that in your mind, literally. But yeah, Rashford 7. Most people have got him. De Bruyne finally got a return, 6 points. Fine, like still not great from him overall. Owning him's been very disappointing, but the only saving grace is that's the Salah slot where Salah's blanked it almost every week as well. Some people have obviously had some Bruno points in that slot, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But the rest of this is absolutely shocking. Like Zaha 3, Andreas 2 looked very good against Tottenham. Actually, I think he like assisted five shots or like 6 shots or something. 3 of which were big chances. So he had a really good game actually, and he looks really really good every time he plays. Mitrovic was a bit threatening, but not as good as I'm used to seeing him. He didn't have the same volume of shots as usual. Haaland 34. Yeah. What?
He didn't have a shot on target, Mitrovic, in that game because I had a bet on it.
No, he didn't. He missed a very, very, very like good chance of a header, which he would normally just score. To be honest, let alone hit the target with, he would just score that chance. But yeah, Haaland 34. Where was this last week when we all played our bloody triple captains? I think Doyle did it the week before. So where was it that week either? 34 points. And he got subbed off on 61 minutes. Like he could have got literally 50 points, I think, this week if he'd have played 90 minutes. And Harry Kane got 6. What a goal that was. So yeah, this bench I've got here is absolute crap. Like it's like 1-0-0-1. None of them play hardly. Literally, it's just like my bench is very, very thin at the moment. But 75. And I rolled a transfer, so it's not the worst score, I think, considering I'm bottom of the pile.
I was about to say, I wouldn't be worried about Zaha being injured. You know, you've got such a good bench to come on for him next game where Carvalho can deputise for sure, mate. I won't be too worried there.
Still waiting for Liverpool's double game week. I'm sure it's coming up. So yeah, Carvalho he'll show his potential during that.
I'll tell you what, that United Arsenal game was class as well. Before we move on, did you both watch that one?
Yeah. I was busy doing my money on the poker table while it was on in the background. Yeah, it was a really fucking good game. I was really enjoying that. That Rashford goal was amazing. It was just like a really good game.
Yeah,
one of the games of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was class. JB, do you want to talk through your team? Second.
I would. Yeah, I'd love to. Fantastic week for me. 83 points. I will certainly take that. I moved up to, I think it was 160,000. Overall, so really good at this stage of the season. So hopefully I can build on that in the remaining weeks. Kepa in goal, I was really pleased. I had a 50-50 call, really. It was between Ward the Fraud or Kepa. And I did initially have Ward in until I spoke to you two, and you two almost talked me into playing Kepa. And I thought, well, it was the early kickoff, it's Chelsea. So played Kepa and he got his 9 points. So I was ecstatic with that. It was a great start to the week. As soon as you get there, someone who hauls like that, who's a little bit of a differential, you know you're in for an okay week. It can't go too badly wrong, even if you get so many more blanks. So I was quite pleased with that.
Particularly when Josh sold him like 3 weeks before and he's done nothing but score points since. It's just the best feeling.
Classic Josh in his goalkeeper transfers. Defence, as you can see, like Josh, I'm very thin on the ground. So I've got Doherty, James, Cancelo, Shaw, all got 0 points for me. Some didn't even make the pitch, like we already spoke about. So not the best from a defensive point of view, but I don't think many people got many points in their defence. It was only really a lot of people had double Newcastle. So whoever does have double Newcastle at the moment are laughing. I think I've kept 6 clean sheets in a row now, and like 9 in 12 or something silly like that. So they're looking really, really good at the moment. So
is it one of them spots that you're just going to keep fading at this point now? Because that's how I feel. I think
it's hard because I don't think there's many options to bring anyone in. There's no one really screaming who you want in your defence. But I need someone who does actually play, which is the issue now. So I am going to get someone in.
Dicey's army, baby. James Tarkowski.
I don't know if it's time for that. That's emergency basis, that is. And I don't know if we've quite reached that stage.
James is back next week, right?
Yeah, he's back in training. He was back in training last week. So I still think he'll be eased in, though. So I think I won't play the odd game. So I'd be a bit wary on his minutes. So again, he's not someone who's going to be a reliable defender for at least another 3-4 weeks, I don't think. So it kind of adds to the problems a little bit. So
Could be a good differential though if he does start.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to get rid of him now. That's for sure, especially after the Cancelo news earlier. If very fresh, so I don't know if you'll probably hear a bit more in the coming days, but sounds like he's guaranteed to be going on loan for the rest of the season, so he won't be an option anymore. His price,
didn't he? Because he started behind Lewis or something against Arsenal, was it?
Yeah. So Josh, actually, do you know this? Or Doyle, I don't know. Josh is usually the man for these sort of things. If he leaves the game and he gets red flagged, his price stay held or does it still go down?
Yeah, stay held.
It stay held, yeah. So maybe there's not a massive rush to get rid of him if you don't need to. We'll see on that one. But into the midfield, not bad at all. Rashford delivered for everyone. Had a Mahrez assist, which was okay. Been brilliant lately, Mahrez. Obviously, the game before was superb. Saka, the 8 million man who ticks along like a 10, 11 million pound man. Done really well again, 9 points. Had a blank from Andreas and Martinelli. And then up front, already spoke about Haaland and Kane. So, yeah, done well.
Yeah, you're one of the few people I've ever seen who managed to get some Mahrez points. Like, no one gets Mahrez points ever. So
I know he's my star man at the moment. He can't stop scoring.
Yeah, I'm very jealous. Very jealous. On to the best team of the week, of course. I don't even have to use the cheat code that is Haaland to beat you idiots. So it's pretty simple game, really, guys. Just pick the players that score points, So we got Kepa in goal, obvious keeper choice. Would never think about making a move there earlier in the season. Trippier 8, Akanji 6, the nailed Akanji, who we talked about last week, who JB said I was talking about too much, but clearly not. Even more nailed now. Stones is injured and Cancelo's going. White got a 0-pointer, which was a bit disappointing considering I used my transfer on bringing him in a week early, so I had someone playing, but that's fine. Well, it was the right decision actually to bring someone in because Doherty didn't start obviously, but still didn't really work out. Mitoma's been an absolute hero. 10 points, 4.5 mil. He's been great. De Bruyne 6, ticking along, and I'm really happy to keeping De Bruyne. To be honest with you, I think he looks really good. Even when he's not playing his best, he's still very dangerous in terms of assists. Saka 9, finally starting to outscore Martinelli, which is great. Rashford 7, Kane captain with just the 1 goal. Could have had 2, but yeah, can't complain too much. Haaland with his 17 was disappointing, given I didn't captain him, and Tony got 1. So very good week. Could have been a much better week if I'd captained Haaland or Haaland didn't haul, but it is what it is.
I can't believe you got so many points and you didn't captain Haaland. It's crazy.
I know, so I'm actually good at the game, whereas you guys just captain the guy that's the cheat code. Like I said, it's pretty unfair. It's a bad handicap for me, but I'm not going to cap him until the end of the season. I've said so. There you go.
Very good week. Very good week.
I think with a captain, it's like I think that's the easiest way to try and make up some points rather than trying to get too differential in your team. I think going with a captain when there are like options around that've got similar point projections, I think that's probably the best way to try and punt and catch up, but not 100% on that. But that's my working theory at the moment, which did not work last week. But
yeah, it's just the thing with Kane. He's especially this season. He keeps getting these 6 points, doesn't he? Or he'll get a bonus point as well. He's so consistent, but he hasn't delivered like a monster haul really yet. I think there was 1 week. Was it Crystal Palace? Might be wrong with that, but Palace away.
Yeah, Palace away.
He's just been so consistent. You'll probably get a return from him as captain, but then obviously we've seen with Haaland, he's been getting hat tricks left, right, and centre. So there's the upside with Haaland.
Yeah, he was sort of looking out of form for a little bit and thought go against it, but didn't work out. But that's fine. Cool. And that means that I am climbing rapidly up the all-in table to catch you two. Not climbing because I'm still in bottom, but
staying put.
In terms of points,
you're quite close though, mate.
It is getting closer. It is getting closer.
Just the 60 points.
I saw this last week. I was like, how the hell did that happen? Like you were about 300 behind a couple of weeks ago.
Where are you overall now, Doyle?
Well, I'm in the top million now. Actually, officially, I'm at 887,000. So,
Oh yeah,
flying up.
yeah, not bad at all, really. 887,000.
I think I've gotten a green every week since the start. I mean, I have used every single chip in under the sun to get there.
Yeah, and it's not hard to get a green arrow when you're so high, but fair play, fair play.
Yeah, we're climbing slowly. Okay, well, should we move on to talk about the double game weeks? Josh, do you want to give us a bit of context? What's going on with the double game weeks?
Absolutely. So the two simple ones, they're the ones I can just get out the way straight away. So everyone plays this week, game week 22, but the difference is Man United and Leeds double. So that's now confirmed. I don't think there's going to be any additional double game weeks. There's some rumours going around, but I think they're absolute nonsense, to be honest. I think it's going to be just Man United and Leeds on top of the 10 fixtures at the weekend. And then in game week 23, Arsenal and Man City double, as well as like everyone else playing once. So the next 2 weeks are double game weeks with no blanks, and they're obviously very small double game weeks with just two teams doubling each time. If we fast forward to game week 25, which is obviously 2 weeks after the Arsenal City double, it's looking likely that Man United and Newcastle will make the League Cup final. I was going to say Carling Cup then, but that is not what it's called anymore, probably. I don't know. Yeah, the Carabao. Yeah, I think it's been like that for about 7 years, but I'm just catching up. So, yeah. So Man United against Brentford and Newcastle against Brighton are the fixtures that are most likely to be blanks at the moment. Of course, Southampton and Notts Forest could come back. I think Southampton have only got to overturn a 1-goal deficit against Newcastle, so that's still up in the air. But I think the odds would suggest that Newcastle Brighton and Man United Brentford are going to be blanks that week. And that's obviously something to think about, because there's going to be some pretty big fixture swings between people who double in the next 2 weeks and people who blank that week. I think, like, in the case of a Mitoma, for example, especially given that they might blank in 28 as well, which I'll come on to in a minute, Mitoma might end up with 4 less fixtures than some players over the next 6 or 7 weeks, which is absolutely mental when you think about it. So, yeah, I think, you know, the numbers game like adds up sometimes for want of a better way of putting it, and I think some players are going to have severely less fixtures than other players in the next sort of three to 4 weeks. But if you extend it to 28, like 6 to 7 weeks, so yeah. And then game week 28, I've got a lovely little screenshot from Ben Krellin here, which I've just deleted off my page. Excellent. So there's 4 confirmed fixtures in 28. So just to run through those really quick. Arsenal against Crystal Palace, Aston Villa against Bournemouth. I can see Doyle writing these down as I'm saying them, by the way. Chelsea against Everton. Everton will probably be really good by then. So that I think you might be in the top half by then.
Yeah, double Everton defence.
And then Forest against Newcastle.
That's a top 4 battle game. That's going to be a big race for the top 4. That one, I'm pretty sure.
And then Forest against Newcastle as well. So you've got some pretty good teams who already don't blank that week. And in the case of Arsenal, they obviously double next week. Don't blank 25, don't blank 28. So I think there's no excuse not to have 3 Arsenal as of next week. I think you just have to have 3 Arsenal. So, yeah, that's my immediate thought, just looking at Arsenal.
Pretty good too as well at football, so that helps.
Yeah, they're the best team in the Premier League at the moment. So, yeah, and they're very cheap. It's just like the most bizarre combination of things that, like, there's categorically no excuse not to have 3 of these players.
Yeah, it's just which 3, right?
Which 3 would you go, Doyle? Come on.
I'd have them White, because I've got it. Saka, because I've got him. Close the last one. Odegaard, Martinelli. I wouldn't go in Nketiah because I'm still worried about Jesus coming back at some point soon. I think it's between those two, Martinelli and Odegaard. I'd probably just about say Odegaard, but I think it's close. I think Martinelli's still a really good pick.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit more upside, Martinelli, in certain games. You know, he can assist one, score a couple. He's on corners and stuff. Odegaard has been really good though, hasn't he? He has been really, really good, and I think he scored most points, hasn't he? I don't know whether Saka might have overtook him this week. Probably not actually, but
no, he's the top scorer mid on the game, mate. Odegaard.
Yeah,
Only 8 points behind. Only 8 points ahead of Saka, but Yeah.
I think if I had to choose, definitely Saka. I think Saka's top of the pile. Then probably Odegaard, and I'd still go Nketiah at the moment. I think
Yeah.
Jesus.
I figured out a scientific way of deciding actually. So Odegaard is number 6 on the ICT index, while Saka is number 3. So Saka's the best choice.
Mhm.
Martinelli is number 4. So there you go.
We have it.
There's your
That's
double.
it. What does ICT stand for?
It's a good question, Jeff. Influence, creativity, and threat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Saka is number 2 on influence, so he's pretty influential. So,
Who's number 1 then?
pretty good pick. Pretty good pick. Number 1 on the ICT index.
Yeah.
It's probably Salah. Salah is actually number 2.
Wow. Well, I think that just proves that it's a load of shit then, doesn't it?
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is number 1. So take of that what you will. But ICT says it's Saka, then Martinelli, then Odegaard. Josh, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to probably lean towards ignoring everything you two have just said.
Here we go, Ramsdale.
Yeah, Ramsdale's my favourite. No, he's not. He's not. Ramsdale's in my top 3 though, for sure. Because I think he's just a perfect pivot off De Gea at that point. So, like, obviously for my team, like De Gea to Ramsdale makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but most normal FPL players, they don't do a goalie transfer every single week. So that's why it's slightly different for most people. Because I know, obviously, on this show, it's easy to get wrapped up in your own team and your own problems. But we do have to think about all the all-in faithful, you see. And like I said, everyone doesn't make a goalie transfer every week. So, you kind of have to adjust your advice based on that. But yeah, carry on, go on. Or more about Ramsdale, come on.
No, Saka and Odegaard are the clear first 2 choices. They're number 1 and 2 for me by miles. Martinelli's not going to get as many minutes as he has been. I don't care what you say. He will be off first every single time.
Why?
Like because it won't be Saka getting subbed for Trossard. It'll literally be Martinelli every single time because he's not very good. Like, I do think Odegaard is the captain and runs the team, so he's not getting subbed. Saka is absolutely elite, and Martinelli will be going off for Trossard, or unless Nketiah goes off. Yeah, unless Nketiah goes off, that is definitely possible.
If he does go off 60 or 70 minutes, though, I think he's guaranteed to start ahead of him, and he will get 65 or 70. And I still think for 70 minutes at 6 point whatever he is, or people who have already got him, I think he'll still deliver okay. I think he's still going to score, he's still going to assist, but maybe not as prolifically as he did earlier in the season. So I think he is still an option, and he might even become a bit of a differential because I think a lot of people are going to sell him.
Yeah, I think in seriousness, no. I think Odegaard's pretty clearly ahead of Martinelli in all seriousness. If you're going to bring one in, I wouldn't swap. No. Would I swap them out?
No, you wouldn't swap. No.
I was thinking this actually. I think this is a massive what's the word? Like, it's a massive mistake, a common mistake thinking thing, whatever you call it, where you say it's not worth a transfer between 2 players from the same team. But is that not like a big error in thinking? Like, surely it's just 2 assets. Like, it doesn't matter if they play for the same team, right? Obviously, you've got some sort of points correlation based on the number of goals you think the team's going to score. But what's the word I want to? Oh, I can't think of the word for it now. But that's going to really annoy me.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like if you had Firmino or Salah or something, like, you can't, just because they play for the same team, they're completely different.
Exactly. It doesn't mean you should compare them as assets. It shouldn't be like you shouldn't transfer this guy for that guy just because they play for the same team. Yeah,
I agree. And you need free Arsenal, so you're always looking to make sure you've got the best free Arsenal as well, currently, like Josh said. So yeah, I don't think it's not, if you want to swap them, I think that's fine. Definitely needs to be a lucky transfer there.
I wouldn't be selling Martinelli. I think he's good enough for sure to be one of your 3 because, as I think the first 2, as I say, are clear. I think Saka and Odegaard are clear, but I think, like, after that, I think it is a bit of a toss up really for the last slot, and I think Martinelli could well be the best 3rd option still. I think the 3rd slot becomes quite team dependent, whereas I think the first 2 slots, I think you have to do everything you can to get Saka and Odegaard in. Especially if you've only got one Arsenal currently, I think Saka and Odegaard are the 2 you'd make work or whatever. But yeah, for people who've got 2 Arsenal, I'd probably just add one of Saka or Martinelli to it and just leave it at that and be happy with what you got really. I think Nketiah is good. I think Martinelli's good. I love Ramsdale, as you know, because he's a goalkeeper. Double game week goalkeepers always get lots of points, except for every time I've done it. And then, yeah, I'm not so keen on the defenders, actually. I do prefer Ramsdale by quite a lot to the defenders because he's a lot cheaper than all of them now. He's 4.9. And the defenders, I think Saliba's at least 5.2 or 5.3 now.
What would you, if you had
4-7
to choose a defender? Because obviously, I think a lot of people are going to go to midfielders, probably Odegaard and Saka, or Odegaard, Saka and Martinelli, for instance. And then that third spot will be either a choice between Nketiah or a defender for most normal people, unlike Josh. So if you was looking in the defence, would you be tempted to pay a little bit more of a premium, 5-1 or 5-2, whatever it is, for Gabriel and Saliba for guaranteed minutes? Or would you still go the cheaper route? Because I think Ben White's still 4-7, but obviously does get taken off early and he is a bit of a rotation risk with minutes. Would you still go for the cheaper one, or would you just invest the extra 0.5 to?
I'd go Zinchenko.
Oh, another good
I
shout.
knew you'd say that. I literally knew
Really
what
good
you were
shout,
gonna say.
obviously. Like, he's fucking 5.0 and he plays every game now.
Yeah, and he does go forward quite a bit as well. He can slot into
It's a
midfield.
really, really good option. Like, when he started the season, he was really good. He would have been in everyone's team if he didn't get injured. I missed it last week because I'm an idiot, but
he certainly seems to be ahead of Tierney as well now, doesn't he? So
yeah, he's definitely.
I think he's locked in.
Way better than Tierney. So much better.
Yeah, very good answer. I think he's probably worth the 0.3 over White if you can afford it, for sure.
But yeah, everyone join me on the Ben White gravy train because he's going to start hauling. Now I've got him, so it'll work out for me. He's going to get all these like sideways assists that you got in the first half of the season, JB. He'll be hit Odegaard.
Yeah, that was great.
I think he's worth it, Zinchenko. I was going to say I prefer Gabriel, but I don't think I quite do. I think I prefer Zinchenko. So, yeah.
So, probably the big question this week is the imminent double game week fixture of Manchester United and Leeds. So
bored about talking about Manchester United. I don't know why. It's just like ever since the break, it seems every week is Man United, Man United, Man United.
Well, this is hopefully last week talking about them.
How many have you got, JB? How many United assets?
I've got 3 because I've still got Tony Gloves up front, Anthony Martial.
What are you doing?
I want to get rid of him desperately because, I mean, he's been injured. I don't think he's going to be playing 2 games for 90 minutes. Probably might miss both. You never know. So I'm not looking at him as a double game week option whatsoever. Obviously, they've signed Weghorst as well. So even if, he might be fit for the second game, he might play 30 minutes here or there. So, and I think a lot of people are in that situation as well. They've got 2 Manchester United players, which obviously Rashford, and a lot of people now got Luke Shaw. So what's the best third place? Do we think Bruno? Because obviously a lot of people are going to go Bruno. He obviously is probably the best, next best, but is it worth getting him in?
I'm going to let Josh take this one.
If he says De Gea or something.
Well, that's what I decided 2 weeks ago. De Gea is the best option. That's why I bought him in for a hit 2 weeks ago. Since then, Bruno's gone on one of his runs, obviously, where I think he's had double digits about 7 times in those 3 weeks or something like that. He just seems to get a return every week. I think Bruno.
Do you remember the all-out attack?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All-out goalkeeper chip.
Yeah. There's a chip on the Gaffer game for the Championship called Jeepers Keepers, where for every save the goalie gets 3 points basically, and both your goalkeepers score that week. So it's actually that is like my fucking dream chip. Literally, the keepers get like 3 points a save. If they save a penalty, they get like 20 points or something. It just accentuates it all by like treble. It's just amazing. But anyway, coming back to in all seriousness, I think if you've got a good route to get to Bruno, and you've only got 2 Man United, I think that's the way to go.
Is he worth a hit?
Yes, I think he is, specifically on the spot of like selling Harry Kane's a really good way to get to Bruno, I think. And I think that is a good hit this week. Wow. I think if you can get to that with Kane's fixtures, obviously doesn't double. I think that's quite a nice hit. Kane and Almiron, I've seen a lot of people do to Bruno and some kind of striker, probably Nketiah or something like that. Seems pretty good to me. But I think I also like the De Bruyne flip-flop. I like De Bruyne to Bruno, Bruno to De Bruyne. I think that's really good as well. So I think if you've got the spare Man United slot, which, to be honest, the Martial thing makes sense, JB. So you've obviously got a spare slot because Martial's crap, essentially. But like, I think people should already have 3 Man United. And if you've got 3 all right ones, I just don't think it's worth swapping between them, to be honest, still. Because they have got 2 good games. And if you've got 2 guys who play twice, that's 3 guys that play twice, that's all right, I think.
Well, most have 2 because everyone's got Shaw and Rashford. Not everyone has De Gea, do they? So
some will already have Bruno, obviously. Like
some might have Bruno, yeah.
Yeah.
But do you? I think it's getting very tricky in FPL now, which just specifically this week and next week, which is what I like because you have to use a bit more strategy. Because obviously, Man United almost certain to blank in 25. So if you are bringing in that third Man United player, you could have issues elsewhere in your team. And then obviously you've got another double game week next week where you've got Man City and Arsenal both playing. So you kind of need to prioritize them as well. So you have to make, and same with Doyle as well. If Brighton blank in 25 and he's got Matoma, Newcastle might blank. Everyone's got Trippier. So suddenly we're going to be short on players coming up to game week 25. So it might not be worth going too heavy into this game week.
Well, this is why De Gea is the answer, mate. Because if you have De Gea and you've got Ward with him, you can just put him on the bench. Absolutely fine. Ward the fraud. You can have Kepa in there with De Gea. It's like you can have any combo of anything you want, and you're fine. You can just put him on the bench when they blank. This was part of the big game strategy. This was the big brain thinking. Like if you have De Gea, fair enough. You lose 30 points on the field versus Bruno, but in 25, you got one less guy to bench.
You get your extra save point, didn't you?
Yeah, it's good. No, I think to be honest, I'm still going to sell De Gea for Ramsdale after I've said that. But but I think it was a good idea in principle. I think there was like there's a bit of strategy to it.
Yeah, the theory was there. It just
This is the other reason, JB.
Better than the theory.
This is the other reason, JB, why I like the KDB to Bruno flip-flop, because you're just having Bruno for this week, then you're getting rid of him before 25 and getting a doubler in the spot, you know what I mean? So I think that does work as well. I think Shaw to a Kanji or Ake or someone like that next week's really nice as well. I think there's escape routes off the United players.
Yeah, I think it's okay, as long as you've got enough transfers. But then again, obviously, you want 3 Arsenal, 3 Man City. So if you ain't in that position, I'm not sure I'd be flip-flopping too much, but if you are well set for the doubles, then that is an option. It just seems a bit silly to get rid of De Bruyne now and then get him back the next week.
But will he be benched, do you think? Because he didn't start against Tottenham 2 weeks ago. And Pep said it was tactical.
He did miss some training for personal reasons, so something happened. But
it felt to me like it was something injury/personal related, but Pep did come out and say it was tactical and said that he wanted to play the 2 up front. He didn't think De Bruyne was suited for that game, sort of thing. So surely there's a decent chance he doesn't start again, right?
And it is sandwiched between the Champions League, I think. And obviously it's knockout time now, so they're going to field their best team in that game. They're not going to rest anyone. So he certainly will be playing.
It's not sandwiched because the Champions League's after, right? But yeah, it's before the Champions League.
Yeah, so as in, like, you could be rested in preparation for that game.
I don't think it is, actually. I think the Champions League's is it the 14th? I think. So I think it's actually the week after.
Let's have a look.
But yeah, I just tried to do that move, Josh, the double move, the Kane and Pereira. I tried to get to Fernandes and Nketiah and missed it by 0.2. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. It's going to have to be Nonto instead.
Yeah, Gnonto. He's we'll come on to that in a bit, I'm sure, because as much as we haven't mentioned Leeds yet, they obviously do have a double game week next week, so like the week coming up. So yeah,
not a bad one either, to be fair. United obviously isn't great, but Forest. And then they've got United again after that, but then the fixtures are pretty good. They don't blank in 25, obviously. They've got Everton in 24. Southampton in 25. So they've got a decent run as well, to be fair to them.
The power of Gnonto as well is that obviously in that transfer, you probably move into 3-5-2, which I think is probably what you want to be doing anyway. So, I mean, especially if you got Andreas and Nonto, for example, I think a lot will have that, or Mitoma and Gnonto. I think it's nice to just play one of those and bench one of those, and you can just like take each week as it comes and just decide which one you want to play, because ultimately I think both of those are playable any week, really. Like all three of those I think are playable any week. It's just like maybe 1 week Mitoma will have Bournemouth at home like this week. Maybe next, like in a few weeks, Leeds have got the good fixture. You probably play Mitoma next week when Leeds have United again, for example. But yeah, I think you can make it work, Doyle, yeah, with Nonto and Mitoma.
Mitoma's so funny because like the ones he misses are Newcastle away, where it obviously blanks, and then United at home. And he gets in between that: Bournemouth at home, Palace away, Fulham at home, West Ham at home, and Leeds away. It's like the best 5 fixtures in the league, pretty much. Which is pretty mental. And it's quite nice because, like you said, people won't really go to him because he doesn't double, he blanks and stuff. So he's actually a really nice differential to have at this point, which is a good spot to be in, I think. So pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think the fact you've got him amongst most good managers, you could gain quite a few points on him. And I mean, when he does blank, he's only a £4.5 million player, so it's not like you're missing out too much. Although I did see he's been brought in by 350,000 managers this week, but I'd question how good they are if they're bringing him in, to be honest, not knowing that he's going to blank in a couple of weeks.
Well, maybe they just know he's going to get a hat trick every week before it. It's probably worth the
Or
minus.
that, yeah, maybe.
People forget you can just take -4s in this game if you want, if you're feeling frisky.
This is the time to do it as well, because the double game week fever and the blank game week fever, like, so I was looking at my history randomly the other day, and I didn't take a hit this season from week 0 to week 16. I didn't take a single hit. And then since the breaks came back, obviously there's been double. I think I've taken about 5-6 hits now. And I think it's like, I'm going to take one this week. I'll probably take one next week. It's okay. Like, they get 2 games, and if they're good assets, like, and I refer to like specifically like the Arsenal assets in that spot, for example, like if you've got 0 Arsenal, any amount of hits next week is worth getting 3 Arsenal, like just off the bat. Like, I don't care which, like within reason, which 3 you get, as long as they're going to start both games. I think they're all worth hits because they don't blank till ever. But I think they just don't blank ever, basically, because they play all the way through till 28 and they've got a double next week. It's just, and even Everton this week, you might want to go early on it as well. So it's like,
after 28 as well, you can start to look at wildcard and stuff anyway, can't you? So it's like, it's pretty perfect. They've got a really, really tough fixture this week coming up, so I wouldn't do anything just yet. But the week after, I'd start to look at their assets for sure.
Well, I'll tell you something. I've already bought in an Arsenal player. I did it last week. So,
to be fair, that's before you saw
off the press.
Before you saw Dyche come in, you wouldn't do it now, though, for sure.
Yeah, what a face
coming in. You thought that was against Bielsa's.
I thought it was Bielsa, but no, he's. I think he's managing the under-21s at the moment, isn't he, Doyle? Isn't he coming in 6 weeks?
21s, yeah. He said they're a better team. They need to. He's not managing the shit in the first squad. He'll just manage the under-21s. They've got a better chance of winning.
He was like, he said, can I just do the under-21s for 6 weeks? Really, he wants to be there for like 3 years in the under-21s. He wants nothing to do with these absolute idiots.
The plan is just to put all them into the first team. That's the idea. You just take the first team away, just stick it on the side and forget about it. And just, train those guys up instead. They'll probably be better, to be fair.
You could just put it on like the internet as like a bulk buy thing and try and sell all the first team players in one go. You know what I mean? See how much you can get for them. Like, get a couple of million.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, to be fair.
Buy Calvert-Lewin, get Iwobi for free.
It's a bit late for the January sales, but I think with Everton, this is the best use case I've ever heard for just bulk selling the whole squad and just like trying to somehow start again with some kids or something like that. I think that probably makes sense.
I think that's next year when we go down, to be honest with you. That's next year's plan.
People always have this utopia, though, when they get relegated that this will happen, but it doesn't. You just end up with more 34 and 35-year-olds. It's incredible. Like, people are like, oh, we need the experience to get us out the championship. And then you just have crap players when you get back up. It's just like, it sounds like I'm speaking from personal experience because I am. Because we do this every single time we get relegated. We just go, Jake Livermore's ideal for this division in the championship. He's absolutely ideal. He's just like, he's got the experience. He wears his heart on his sleeve. That's what they always talk about. Anyone who's got a bit of passion, it's like they need to start in the championship because no one plays football down there, apparently. Like,
it's so physical, isn't it?
You just have to grit. Yeah. You just have to fight people and kick people. Yeah. Which, to be fair, you do a bit. So, yeah.
Unless you're Burnley, apparently, who suddenly become, the Man City of the championship.
Yeah, as an aside, we played them last Friday and they passed us off the park. It was incredible. They played so good. There was like we went 1-0 up and we were winning for most of the game actually, but they absolutely dominated us from the first minute. Genuinely, they were just passing us off the park. It was like they did fully deserve to win that game, and they will romp this league. They'll probably win it by like 20 points from the team third. So I think they'll be like 20 points clear for automatic. I think, yeah, they're absolutely class.
We'll see them next year. I was shocked. I just checked my game week history. I've only taken 2 hits all season. They're 3 hits, but 2 in 1 week. So that's pretty for me.
Were they post restart as well?
No, one was a -8, which was 2 weeks ago. And the other one was in game week 11. But I had a massive green arrow of the week. I did take a -8 to be fair. So
to be fair, that game week 11 hit set you up really well for the free hit you played the next week. So it seems like it went really well, that hit.
Was that the one for Son? That was, yeah, just Captain Son. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, to Captain Son. Then you free hitted him out, and then he was still there the week after, and you were like, "Oh shit, I've still got Son."
Then I took him out, and he scored a hat trick or something.
And then after that game, Leicester kept 18 clean sheets in a row, and I played Danny Ward. Yeah, it was just like it was just that one game where he like threw them all in the net so Son could have a hat trick.
What a season!
God, we're so far off topic now. Leeds.
Is there any other Leeds options we'd consider apart from the cheap Notto up front?
Gnonto.
Yeah, so I think we need to round off Gnonto first. So Gnonto is by far the number 1 pick, right? He is a cheap striker, so you've got your money not in the midfield, as we talked about earlier. He's nailed. He's going to start 100% on the left-hand side. Which way's left and right? This way's left, right? For me? Yeah. Left-hand side, yeah. I've seen him on the pitch. I know where he plays, but I just get confused between left and right, that's all. I don't know how we've got.
I don't know. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, is he talking about like the viewers?
This is shambolic.
Left, is this right? Does he know what's left and right? Who knows? Carry on.
Yeah.
He plays on the left-hand side. He's going to play there. Like, they've got a lot of attacking options at the moment. Like, Leeds have got a lot of attacking players, but Gnonto will play. I'm actually getting quite worried about Rodrigo. Bamford played brilliant on Saturday. Like, he did you see the assist he did? The double drag back assist where he flip-flopped it to the striker. It was really, really good. But I'm just worried about that central striker position because they've got the new signing as well, Rutter or whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. They've got Rodrigo. They've got Bamford. Like all their preferred position is the number 9 position. So it's like
American guy. Is that a different one?
No, that's not the same one. McKinney, mate, he's to come as well. He plays in the 10 or like the 8. So like again, that's another bit of competition for Rodrigo if he was to play in the 10. They've obviously got Aronson, who's another American guy. He plays in the 10 as well. So it's really interesting at Leeds, but I'm most confident Gnonto will play. I'm a bit up in the air with the other picks. So when he's cheaper, it's just obvious to pay 5 million for him, I think, rather than sort of pay any sort of other money for an absolute punt in midfield. Meslier, though, let's move on to him. Doyle, you wanted to say something, I think?
I'm just watching this double drag back.
It's not a double drag back. It's like a reverse flip flop, if that makes sense. So he did it with the inside of his foot and scooped it through.
Was that lovely assist? Was that to Gnonto?
No, it was to not Gnonto.
Yeah, I'm stubborn. I don't get to put Rodrigo in. We love Rodrigo as well, me and you, but it's not really come about this second half of the season yet. And like you say, I think because of the Bamford back and all these transfers, it's going to ruin it for him. But yeah, Meslier looks a bit of fun to me. Obviously, he's got a double game week, and then he's got some good fixtures, and he's only 4.5. Feels like a decent way out of the Chelsea keeper. To be fair, I mean, they've got good fixtures. Chelsea, they got Fulham at home, West Ham away, Southampton at home. So I don't think it's like a priority. You need to jump off right now. But it's a fun little option to consider if you want to. It's all I'll say on Meslier. He's also obviously really good at save in terms of save points. So.
He is a good shot stopper. But definitely with the first game as well against Nottingham Forest, it's not a bad option at all. It's a very good fixture for Leeds. I'm not sure they'll get much at Old Trafford, but sometimes the atmosphere will be very lively for that one. So they may be able to nick a goal or two, but certainly the Forest fixture's the one to target if you do get Nonto. That's where he could be dangerous, I think. Apart from that, I'm not sure I'd be looking anywhere else for Leeds players, but he's definitely, if you do get him, he's going to free up a lot of money so that you can splash out on the big double game weekers like Bruno, or if you want De Bruyne, Mahrez, whoever, Saka for the following week. He'll give you a bit of cash in the bank.
Josh, guess who's back? I've just been looking through the Leeds players. Guess who played 21 minutes last game week?
Not Dallas.
Sinistera.
Sinistera.
He scored as well. He scored.
Fave.
He was the one who scored, I think, when Bamford played it through.
In the FA Cup game.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your pick, Josh. There's your punt.
I can't go again, Doyle. I've bought him 4 times.
He's only just back from injury, though, isn't he? He's not going to play both games.
We were talking about how Doyle's the biggest loser in one of the poker rooms we play in of all time. I think I am the player who's bought Sinistera the most in fantasy football history. I've bought him 3 times so far this season. He's only been in the league this season
and not got any points from as well.
No, he's got minus points for me. Let me say, like he got -2 the week I played him. Yeah, so I think that is. So I've taken a hit for him. So I think he's got me net -6 so far from the win. I think that's from 3 buys. You can't say I'm not a loyal guy. Like you can't say that because I've bought this guy 3 times. He fucking got sent off the only time I played him. So yeah,
I think in week 38 you've got to bring in Sinistera. I've got to bring in Leon Bailey, and we'll have a fight to the death.
I might just bring in Sinistera now and then just keep him for the rest of the season. I think that makes sense. I mean, you said Leeds have got the odd good fixture or something like that. That'll do for me. Like get Sinistera in.
You got to dodge on him. It's no fun if you don't dodge the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to just manage to miss all the points possible somehow, like I do with Son, Bailey. It's so much fun. It's a great moaning technique. It's fantastic.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but Son did brace at the weekend, didn't he? One of them was an absolutely lovely goal.
He's back. And he loves a goal against City as well. Oof.
He was scoring against Preston. Was it Preston they was playing though?
Yeah, you got the straight up choice between Bruno and Son, Doyle. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Any other doubles and double stuff we need to consider?
One last question. Do we think Bruno's essential? Would you say he's essential? Like Man United are playing at Old Trafford, both games, Crystal Palace and Leeds. I mean, 2 home games, Palace and Leeds. Do we not think if you're chasing Doyle, like you always say about, you want a differential, make some ground.
He's actually crap. He's really crap. Like you look at his stats, they're just crap. He's got 0.19 XG per 9. His XG 90 is actually really good. But he's just not very good for a 9.9 million option. He doesn't.
But just for this 1 week, though, you only want him for this 1 week.
I mean, I am going to captain him. I'll say that now. I will admit I'm going to captain him.
Oh my god,
he's a crap option at the same time.
So I guess you agree with the opinion that it's just 1 game week. He's playing 2 great fixtures, and you are going to captain him then.
Yeah, I'm just like, so my strategy now for this season is, like I said earlier, I'm not going to captain the popular captain for the rest of the season and see how I get on, essentially, because it's the only way I can fly up to get to an actual decent rank that I want to actually win some money. Because I don't give a shit if I come 100k or if I come 1.5 million. So I'm just going to punt. So I can't captain Rashford, so it's just Bruno's just the obvious one, right? But
yeah, he's an obvious second choice, I think, this week, if you ain't picking Rashford.
I think De Gea's not a bad captain pick either, to be fair.
However,
easy games. Oh, here he goes.
Marcus Rashford's home away split is one of the most ridiculous ones in the league. So 2 home games in a week. He's got 74 of his 108 points have come at home this season. He has scored more than 8 points in each of his last 4 home games. And Bruno Fernandes is way better away from home. So I think Fernandes is actually the opposite of essential, because I think he's going to cost some people the armband, which is going to lose them points versus Rashford, because I think Rashford is going to do really, really, really well with 2 home games this week.
Yeah, I love those 6-game sample sizes. They're really inducive to good decisions and good decision making.
Rashford just loves it at Old Trafford. I think he doesn't like travelling. I think he doesn't like getting on the coach. Like, he hates flying, I'll tell you that. But
he's the Mari Cooper of FPL, Josh.
Yeah. He literally lives just above Old Trafford. He lives on top of the stadium, and he just saunters down the stairs before each game, and he plays, and he just loves it there. It's like him playing in his local park. He fucking loves it. And yeah, Bruno Fernandes. To be fair, I was gonna be like, he's not blanked in any of his last away games, but he hasn't blanked in any of his last home games either. So he's literally got a return in each of the last 7 game weeks. That's gone really under the radar, I think. Like, it's like he sort of just ticked along without doing anything spectacular. Like, his highest score in that time's 10 points, but he just got like 6, 6, 6, like 5, just.
He's looked really good, to be fair, as well. Like, when you watch the games now, he just seems he's playing a lot further. I think with Casemiro behind, it gives him even more license to sort of bomb forward. I think he does look really good in the games.
Yeah, Ericsson might be out as well, which is massive for Bruno Fernandes. That makes him an even better asset, I think. I think he just gets that bit further forward, which really does help. I
Fred
think
behind or McTominay or something.
Yeah, Fred and it'll be Fred and Casemiro, mate. Doyle, we was watching the game on Saturday, weren't we? And like, Fred is just absolutely class. I love Fred. I love Casemiro's the best CM in the league. JB, how did you not mention Casemiro as a double game week option? By the way, he's your favorite player.
Yeah, he was my punt last week, wasn't he? I said he'd do really well, and then obviously midweek he scored a brace. So yeah, I'm right again. But so many times with these punts like Doherty and Billing, they come off now. So it's kind of, I don't really celebrate it anymore.
Is it a punt? If you shout it, it's just a good pick, right?
Yeah, it's obvious, isn't it? It's the sneaky move that people should be doing.
Eventually, you'll bring one of them in as well. It'll be really fun when you do that and when you back yourself.
Yeah, because Billing didn't actually come in, did he? That was a shame.
That was our fault. We'll take a bit of the blame for that one, but also you got to be more decisive, JB. You got to back these amazing punts you've picked all season. You haven't owned a single one of them, so it's like saying, yeah.
I brought Doherty in. I didn't play it. Every time I played him, he got 0.
You benched him. That still doesn't count.
I know that exactly. I benched him for his 1 haul.
I might bring.
I did pick Mitoma after his first game as well when he come off the bench. I was raving about how good he looked.
I'm just getting all your points basically because I've had the Mitoma points, I've had the Doherty points. I'm just loving life. Following. I'm going to get Casemiro in and captain him. Solid.
Why not? He's not bad. Are you talking me into it now? He's only 4-7 or something, isn't he?
The 2 goals at the weekend were obscene. Literally, the chip over the goalkeeper was amazing. The first time passing to the corner from 35 yards is one of the silliest things I've ever seen in my life. He just he passed it into the corner. What? Reading.
I was going to say he's coming. He just looks like he's like a big kid at school, doesn't he? Like he's like 2 years older than everyone. He just passes it into the net, just walks about, does what he wants, sort of thing. It's very good to watch. I'm really tempted though now by the defensive cap though. Those fixtures are just so good, right? Palace at home and Leeds at home.
Yeah, I think so.
2 cleans just seems pretty likely. With Palace without Zaha as well.
Yeah. What about Luke Shaw then? Would you consider Luke Shaw?
Yeah.
Bonus point magnet on corners.
I was thinking that the only thing on top of my head is that Luke Shaw's a lot higher owned than De Gea. So like if I brought De Gea in and he got like some saves, bonus points, etc., I'm just gaining a lot more on the field if I captain him than if I do it with Luke Shaw. But Luke Shaw does look good, so I'll have a think on that.
So,
Breaking news! Rodrigo's injured, by the way, for Leeds.
Oh wow, changes everything.
That might decide my transfer because I was still considering buying Rodrigo this week. Sinistera.
Patrick Bamford's coming in.
No, I'm having Sinistera now. I'm doing it. This is incredible.
How do you?
It's amazing.
How does that work? What's the thing? What's the logic between Rodrigo not playing and Sinistera playing?
Oh, absolutely none at all. But I could just have him now. I think to the outside world, people might think it's more justified now. So I can just sort of sneak it in and get away with it. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I think. Is
it Harrison on the right and Nonto on the left?
Well, Harrison doesn't start very much either. So it's quite interesting actually. It's Harrison's definitely been like splitting minutes on the right. But
he started the last 2.
Yeah, very interesting spot that is.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think that's because Sinistera hasn't been playing.
Yeah. Someone said that Harrison was playing well. Maybe George or someone. But
yeah, I think one club apparently in for Harrison and he was maybe going.
Oh. Maybe not.
Or there was rumours of something or something like
Everton.
that. So could be 40 million.
Everton. He can't be much worse than what we got. Damari Graham.
I think it was Leicester. Might have been Leicester.
Mm.
And he weren't allowed to talk to him, maybe, so he got the but who knows? So just to round off this double game week, because we have rattled on about it quite a bit with the Man United and Leeds. One last question that's quite pertinent to the all-in faithful, probably. Obviously, it doesn't matter for us, but for a lot of people, would you consider triple captain in Rashford this week ahead of Haaland if you haven't used it, who obviously doubles the week after? What do you think, Doyle?
Yeah.
Triple captain in play, or would you rather save it?
Yeah, I mean, it's really good fixtures, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, he's on fire. I mean, what more do you want? He's
looks
scoring
good.
every game.
Let's have a look how he looks stat-wise.
But then again, we know what Haaland's been doing. And would you rather save it for Haaland next week?
I actually can't be arsed with Haaland anymore. He's such a donkey. I just don't like him. After the start,
Coming off his hat trick,
saying how much I love him. He's so boring.
How about you, Josh? Any opinion on it, or?
I would save it for Haaland because I think he's the best fantasy football option that has existed since we've been alive.
Yeah.
So I think we should take the spot with him. Yeah.
It's not a bad option, though, is it, Rashford?
But he's just going to score them, isn't he? It's just Haaland, isn't it? It's just obvious.
Yeah. But then again, Manchester United Palace, Manchester United Leeds, it's great fixtures.
Yeah, but you're not getting any ownership advantage either by playing Rashford over Haaland here because they're both going to just be 250% or whatever. Right? Like Rashford's going to get all the caps this week, Haaland's going to get all the caps next week. And I think
it gives you a little edge, though, doesn't it, on whichever week you use it, I guess? Because that's always really going to be the case.
Haaland is a better asset. Like I think as a straight up choice, Haaland is just better, right? Like he's.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a wrong answer. I think they're both fine choices. So you're kind of splitting hairs if you're going to pick one over the other. Yeah, difficult one.
Yeah, I think just with triple captain, think about what you want from your season. How far behind what you want to do are you? If you're quite far behind, you're not triple captain Rashford, you're not triple captain Haaland, triple captain someone that's a bit different because it's a massive potential EV boost for you. Just think about it sensibly in that sense, in terms of knowing what your rank is and what you want to achieve. Because I think a lot of people go quite zombie-ish, like, oh, Haaland's the best choice, I'm going to triple captain him, when in reality, for what you want to achieve in the season, it's not the right decision. But
well said, well said. And with that, shall we move on to our game week preview, and then we can talk about our transfer plans, which again we'll cover probably a lot of topics involving the doubles coming up anyway.
Yeah, who wants to start? Let's go with Josh, top left.
Well, you want me to go through my team, yeah?
Yes, please.
Amazing. So I've already done 2 transfers. You're going to love this. I did. So I started off by doing Zaha to Odegaard, the second after the Crystal Palace Newcastle game finished, because Zaha was absolutely crap. He got injured. He was dropping in price that night, and Odegaard was going up. So I had enough. Zaha went to Odegaard.
And you had 2 frees as well, so why not do it? You still had one more in the bank in case something happened. So
exactly, mate. So 20 minutes later, I then did Mitrovic to Gnonto. Because I think there was some sort of price change there as well. I think Mitrovic has dropped. Gnonto's on the cusp of going up. So again, I looked at those transfers and I was going to lose about 0.5 on the swing of those 2 moves. I knew I was getting Gnonto regardless of the double. Odegaard I wanted for sure regardless of the double. So there were just 2 guys I really wanted, to be honest. And it was a bonus that the Leeds double came in as well.
Josh, be honest. Did you actually check the price changes or did you just do it? You don't have to lie.
Well, I saw they were going up on the Fanteam price changes, so I thought I just presumed that would be sort of the same on FPL. No, I looked on statistics, to be fair. I really didn't want Zaha. That was it was definitely a passion. There was a passion. Well, because I think he hasn't returned for about 18 game weeks, and I thought, for some reason, I thought he could change with an extra fixture for some reason. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous.
A couple of my friends are Palace season ticket holders, and they've actually been saying Zaha's been looked well off the pace lately, and literally off the pace as well. Like people running past him, he can't even catch up with them.
Yeah, he had a really good chance in the Newcastle game, but someone hacked him down as he was about to run clean through on goal. So that was a bit unlucky. But that was the only sort of spark that I even thought about seeing. So I've got 3 Man United to conclude. I've got Rashford, Shaw, De Gea. I'm definitely captaining Rashford because to develop Doyle's point, I'm sort of happy with where I am at the moment. So I'm just going to go with the pack with Rashford captain. I think he's the best option. And I've got Gnonto from Leeds as well. So to complement those, I currently have Akanji playing Tottenham away, Trippier, who everyone's going to play, De Bruyne, Andreas, who's got Chelsea away, not happy with that. Odegaard, who's got Everton away, great fixture. Haaland's got Tottenham at home, and City's got Man City. Kane's got Man City at home. So it's the Kane, Haaland derby up front for me. However, I'm going to take a hit, as I alluded to earlier. So I am going to do Carvalho to one of Saka
Samira.
or Rodrigo because I've got 4 million in the bank.
Please do Saka. Please do Saka.
Well, Rodrigo's injured or Saka, so I'm not really sure which way I'm going to go on that one. But I'm going to buy Saka. Yeah, I'm going to buy Saka, and that actually saves me a hit next week as well. So it's not only more points this week, but it also saves a hit next week. So
why don't you do Saka next week because he's got Everton this week. He's not getting any points there at all.
Yeah, I don't want to play Andreas this week, and I think, dare I say it, I think Saka's got a chance of scoring this weekend. So, I mean, given that I think I should do it. I think you should avoid it, Doyle, because I think you think there's no chance of Saka scoring this weekend. But I
might bench him.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to do Andreas to Saka, so I'll be nicely set up for next week. I've already got my 3 City. I'll have 2 Arsenal, and I've got 4 double game weekers this week as well. So, yeah, that is me, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah. That's
the bench is absolutely crap, though. This is the worst bench I will ever have. It's Ward, Andreas, to be fair, will move to first sub. Then I've got Bueno, who's got Liverpool, and Doherty, who's got City. So,
you don't want to start Bueno, mate.
Yeah, I know. I thought you'd say that. As soon as I said that, as soon as the word came out of my mouth, I was like, for fuck's sake, he's going to say start Bueno.
Might be a captain option this week. He's up against. He's a left back, right, Bueno. So he's up against Trent on that side.
He might get 2 assists at least. Yeah,
scream some points to me.
I've seen a few clips of Trent defending recently. Did you see the one where he's just like on the edge of the box and like 2 people just walk past him and he just leaves them to walk through? And it's probably just like a weekly clip, to be honest, because I think that happens most weeks. But yeah, I really enjoy
sleep. I just go to sleep watching those and watching Salah miss compilations. It's fantastic. Really settles my mind. And then occasionally like something about Everton pops up as like recommended. I'm like, turn that off, get it off.
I want nightmares.
Yeah. I was looking at Salah's stats earlier for like just season on season, his goal scoring record. He must be the biggest overachieving player in the history of the Premier League. Literally, the amount of goals he has got for how crap he has been in the last 2 years has been incredible.
Like Premier League, he's not done well, but it's all comps. He's still on like 15 goals, and it's like how? I just don't get it. I swear he never scores, and he just ends the season with 30 goals somehow. Don't know how he does it. It's a miracle.
Incredible.
It's a miracle, man.
We were right this year, though, Doyle. At least no one can say we weren't because we've got it right since week 1. Literally, we got it right every single week. So
that was my pre-season bet that he wouldn't be in the top 3 scorers or something.
How was Fraser Forster not got in the team, by the way? Like, what is going on?
That was really. I really thought that was coming.
He got his run out last game.
What the hell was that? Like, Lloris is absolutely crap. I've had enough of this. Like, he just keeps throwing the ball in the goal.
I really thought you were getting it last week. I really thought that was coming in.
Do you think that's why he played the Preston game, maybe? They're warming him up.
Yeah, almost certainly. He's ready.
Was it 3-0 or 3-1? They won.
3-0. They didn't
like, clean sheet as well for Fraser.
He's warming up.
JB, do you want to run for your team?
Yeah, sure. I've got loads and loads of options available to me, and I'm really not sure what to do. I'm just going to wait until this last game's out of the way for you. Is it United playing this week?
Thought you meant it was double game week for a second, and that was like, I thought we were in the midst of a double game week where you're like, it's just so confusing at the moment. Like 10 days between games and all that sort of crap.
just this week. Just wait for the presses, wait for all the information to come out, and then I'll probably decide at the end of the week. I've got 2 free transfers, so that's really good. I really want Bruno just because it's just the fixtures are just so good for Bruno. And the issue I have, obviously, I've already got 3 Manchester United. So to get Bruno, I would have to get rid of Martial, which I kind of want to do anyway. So that's not an issue.
It's a bit weird
And
though, isn't it? Because you've got sort of Andreas. I guess you'd have to get rid of Mahrez, right? It's just gonna be Mahrez out. Is there a
Well,
double move you can do there? I get
I'm
short.
thinking maybe Martinelli because I wouldn't mind swapping him for Odegaard next week with my transfer.
I just
So
need Mahrez, I think. He's got a double next week, doesn't he? Actually, so
exactly, I've got Mahrez next week, so it's the same thing really. And I think I'd rather Mahrez over Martinelli for their
yeah.
doubles. So tentatively, I'm thinking if I got Nketiah for Martial, they're basically the same price. Then I've got Nketiah for next week, coming off of 2 goals against Manchester United. I could get Bruno in midfield then because I'd free up the Manchester United spot for Martinelli.
Oh, do you have money in the
Next
bank?
week, yeah. So then next week I can downgrade Bruno to Odegaard. So I'd have Saka, Odegaard, and Nketiah. But to do it, I'd need just a little bit more money. So that last spot would be obviously Cancelo down to someone. I'm thinking maybe Cancelo down to Lewis now after the news we heard. And then Lewis has a double game week next week and hopefully starts playing a few games. If he don't, he's only 3.9 million. So he's going to give me loads of extra cash to spend anyway. So maybe a -4. I'm not sure.
I think I'd go Ake there.
I don't think I can do them transfers if I did Ake. That's the only problem. I think I've got 4.7 to spend.
So you'd get 2.1, which is 6.8, which is spot on. I think that might be actually perfect. Oh, 6.9 Odegaard. That's so disgusting.
I'll go for 6.8, by the way. I'd like to say.
So yeah, there's a few options open to me this week. One could just be downgrade Cancelo to someone, maybe Lewis, and then I could get Bruno. But yeah, like I say, I ain't got the extra spot, so getting Nketiah seems like I don't mind taking a -4 this week if I'm getting Bruno, Nketiah, and Lewis, so like 2 extra double game week players really. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'd do with the third City slot now, really, because I think De Bruyne and Haaland, if you got them, you're going to keep them for the double. But other than that, it's like a bit of a minefield at the moment. Maybe it is just like a Kanji or Ake or Laporte or something like that, or yeah, maybe Lewis just like for 3.9.
The only option available to me, if I was to do it, I need a 4.7 or less defender, and White's kind of out of the way because I've already got my 3 Arsenal slots. The only other one I really like is Botman at the moment, but I can't do that because they're going to blank more than likely in 25. And having Trippier already as well, and basically defenders who don't play in Cancelo, James, Doherty, that's not really an option to me to get Botman. And I really like him at 4.5. And then I looked at the Brighton defence and I thought Estupiñán, but again, they're going to blank in 25 because they're meant to be playing, I think Newcastle, is it? Who may be in the League Cup final. So again, I can't get him. So there's not many options, and it just seems obvious just to go all the way down to Lewis at 3.9. He can sit on my bench if he don't play. So yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's like, do you choose a worse option that plays a game, or do you just choose a better option that misses a game, and you just lose out on those points? Particularly for a defender, I think it's quite close.
Yeah, it's tricky for me just because my defense don't really play much, and I do need someone who plays. That's the issue. So that's the thing putting me off Lewis a bit because obviously he will get rotated a little bit, even without Cancelo. I don't think he's now to play every game.
Yeah,
so I can't afford any of the others.
I wonder what the defenders' have expected points is per game. Sort of 3 points, something like that. I'd imagine. Because obviously they can lose points, whereas midfielders and attackers, it's more like justified to make sure they have a game because their average points are higher. Close.
We'll see. How about you then, Doyle? What's the transfer plans looking like?
A quick one first, JB. I wanted your Chelsea opinions. What's going on there? What you think about the new boys? What you think about the defense?
It's all a bit of a minefield at the moment. I wouldn't really touch us, to be honest. Fixture's quite good, but it's exactly the same advice as before. I think Potter's still trying to figure out his best team. Even if he does know his best team, he's rotating all the players. So Very, very difficult. Even the attacking positions, there's so many options. No one's really nailed. Even the centre backs, we got loads of them now. The new boy's coming from, I think, Monaco. He's gone into defence, so it's another position that's being rotated. So unless we get James back maybe and Chilwell, who knows? And they'll probably be eased back in as well where they've been injured. So again, they probably won't be nailed either. He'll probably play as Pitaqueta there and Cucurella out wide. And got Hall, Lewis Hall as well, knocking about now. So who was you specifically thinking about?
I wanted some general thoughts. I mean, I really like the look of Mudryk, but I'm not going to go there just yet. But I really like the look of him after this first game.
He's very cheap, so if he can hit the ground running, he could be one of the players who does keep his place if he's as good as people say. And he's so cheap. So, but again, I don't think you can do it yet. You need him to play 2, 3, 4 games at least to suss him out.
Yeah, and I was thinking about Kepa, what to do with him, and whether I want to hold him or let him go.
I think Kepa's very solid. I mean, he's making loads of saves as well where we ain't that good. So, but he's really good in the bonus because he does a lot of passes out the back, and if we keep a clean sheet, he's always in the bonus.
Yeah. So for my team, I think I'm looking at Pereira and Kane out for Bruno Fernandes and Nonto. For a -4. Plus, I was considering some sort of keeper switch from Meslier or De Gea. Don't know whether I'll actually do that or not, is the question. I might actually, instead of doing the keeper hit, I might do a hit for Doherty to Luke Shaw as a different angle. And then potentially captain Luke Shaw or captain Bruno Fernandes, depending on how I feel. I think that's what I'll go for.
I do like the Luke Shaw one.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Because you've got Patterson who ain't playing, obviously, on your bench as well. So that seems like a good time to use that.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a bit of a pain recently having Doherty as like the sort of being rotated and stuff. So I think that seems pretty solid. I mean, I'll have a benching headache, but I'll have to figure that one out. I think oh God. I was really hoping Ivan Toney had a bad fixture.
Southampton. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, tricky.
Oh God, Mitoma's got Bournemouth at home, and Toney has Southampton at home, and have got 8 playing attackers.
Yeah, how can you buy Bruno in this spot? I don't understand. I just don't think you can do it because you got 7 attackers who you want to play. You know what I mean? It's like,
have you got any money in the bank?
No. 0.2.
Why don't you just get Shaw and De Gea or something?
I can't.
You can.
I don't have any in the bank.
What, Shaw and De Gea?
That Shaw's 5.2.
Oh, you got Doherty for cheap, did you?
Yeah, I've got a 4.6.
Oh yeah, I paid 5.
You paid 5.
No, I think I got 4.6. I think.
Oh God.
How much is he now? 4. Oh, he's 4.6, right?
Oh,
yeah, I thought he was 5 million for some reason. I think he's that. I think he's that on Fanteam. That's why. I think that's why I'm confused.
Yeah, I think if looking at your team, my first thoughts would be get Notto for Toney and then use the money to get Shaw for Doherty, maybe. Have you got 2 frees, did you say?
No.
Oh, you got 1. Yeah, tricky. Maybe. You'll have a problem come, when is it, 25 though? Obviously, if you've got Doherty who's maybe not playing, Patterson on the bench who's injured for the season or whatever, Trippier who won't be playing, and then you never know with White's minutes managed. Darkanji should be okay, but definitely need a reinforcement at some point, and it feels like it's an ideal time to get Shaw. It's almost like you'd get him, if you took a hit, you're kind of getting him for free anyway with the extra game.
Tony blanks in 25 as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Tony, Matoma blank, Rashford blank.
You triple United, Yell blank.
Was Doherty blank? No, Trippier blanks. Doherty didn't play.
Patterson doesn't play.
Actually, yeah, and if you're getting Shaw anyway, Shaw's going to blank anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in spot above her.
I'll just hit my way out of it. I'll be fine.
It feels like it could be a free hit for you.
This week.
Actually, you ain't even got free hit.
How many free hits can I use? Yeah, do I get another one? Is that?
Of course, it's a world of pain, isn't it? Okay, we'll have to do a special pod later in the week, and we'll just dissect this team a little bit more.
It's a bit unfair. My team's actually too good for the week. That's the issue here. Nothing else.
It is quite good this week.
But,
well, something to ponder, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll just have to bench Saka, won't I? Like we said earlier.
I did do it a few weeks ago.
It's just a bad fixture now. Sean Dyche's Everton. No chance they're rocking in there and scoring.
There's definitely a lot to think about. We definitely have to post on Twitter what we decide to do because there could be some hilarity ensuing at some point. So we'll have to update everyone.
Yeah, I think I'm a sick idea, so I think I'll do that and then post it on Twitter. Yeah, that'll be fun.
I think I'm the only one who's set mainly because I've done 2 of mine, and then the other one is just Saka probably. So it's like it just becomes pretty easy, I think. But yeah,
should we all do one beer bet each before we go then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who wants to go first?
I think okay, I've got one
prepped?
for the double. Yeah, I'm ready. I think there will be at least 5 Man United players who outscore Bruno Fernandes in the double. At least.
Sneaky. Yeah, they could just get cleans though, couldn't they? One clean and him blanking, then they're done. I suppose we've got to take it. We can't just reject it. But yeah, I like your thinking. It's a sneaky one. I think you'll probably win it.
You think I'll probably win it, but you're going to hit him Bruno Fernandes?
There's just a big possibility that he might blank, and then all they need is one clean, and then suddenly that's 5 players who have all got a clean sheet. So,
I mean, I'll take it, yeah.
And then obviously Rashford might score or something. So
4 was a really good. 5 was a really good line, right? Because he just gets to defend from the keeper.
Yeah, right? 4 would have been interesting.
It's very sneaky.
Very sneaky.
No, 4. I don't.
Sneaky Josh.
4's just even more in my favour. What do you mean?
Sneaky Josh.
4 just means one of the defenders doesn't have to play.
Hashtag sneaky Josh get trending.
Why would I say 4 when I've offered 5? I think I was going to go up to 7, but I'll go 5.
Yeah, I'll take 5.
Go on, then. We'll be hoping that one loses now.
I'm going to go for a goal fest in Nottingham Forest versus Leeds. I'm going to say over 4 goals.
So that's 5 and over, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I think it's a good game for it, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at Gameweek 23 fixtures. Jesus. I'm coming up with a beer bet 2 weeks in advance. That's how prepared I am.
You'll be ready for next week.
Yeah, I still didn't get one. So yeah, we'll take that then, Doyle. Right, for the last one then.
I don't do 50-50 beer bets unlike Josh. That's why I'm so far behind.
I will go with... Do you know what? I'll go with Notto to outscore Rashford. How's that?
Yeah, I'll take the Rashford side, yeah.
Oh, Rashford scored like 10 games in the spin or something, can he? He's the...
Of course he's going to score. Yeah, I'll take Rashford to outscore Canonto. Yes.
And Leeds obviously away at Old Trafford as well. So that's
another 50-50 for JB.
Plus game for Rashford.
I've been hyping up Gnonto. He might not even play anymore. Like I don't know. Like it's
he should
maybe he will. He'll be all right. Yeah, he's on the left-hand side, as we know. So I think we're good. I think we're good for now with him.
Yeah, I think that was if they were giving out podcast awards, we'd be a shoo-in for best little segment with that left and right that you had earlier for 15 seconds. If we clipped that and then sent it off to the podcast awards, we would definitely be nominated, wouldn't we? We'd probably take home the little Oscar-y thing as well.
Easy. I guess we'll call it there, shall we?
Yeah, all right. Joshy boy, do you want to do your usual?
Yeah, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you see the video on YouTube. Doyle, what was you doing with your hands? I mean, telling me to stop doing something.
I figured out we should do this at the start and not at the end because nobody listens to the whole thing. So we should probably just do this at the start from future. But
yeah, because if they make it this long, we should be sending them awards, shouldn't we? After the crap that we've spoken
let's
about.
Go through this crap. Jesus Christ.
Right, clip me out then, Doyle. Just put me at the start. All right. So welcome everyone, all in FPL. All right, here we go. So if you, in case you might like what you're about to hear, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on Twitter at All in FPL, and please listen to our podcasts, which we've got now on Apple, Spotify, and all good podcast providers. And it's about to be great what we're going to talk about today. So Doyle, what we're going to talk about today? There you go. See how seamless that was.
I'd apologise in advance for left and right.
You could just clip that in. You could just clip that in now. See.
What a shambles. What a shambles. Anyway, all right. Thank you, everyone.
Right, I'll see you next week as I'm the top scorer once again as I march up the table. Bye, guys.
See you, everyone.
See you later, guys.